Hello, and thank you for inviting me to share a few words with you. I want to begin by thanking Ricky Smith and Ebony Wimbush and all of AMAC for what you do to make our aviation sector and our whole country fairer and more prosperous. To illustrate the importance of your work, I would start by pointing out that one of America's most remarkable examples of infrastructure giving people a fair shot at opportunity comes from the aviation sector. Decades ago, when the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta was being expanded, the proportions of the project meant that there were thousands of good-paying jobs and many small businesses being created, contributing to Atlanta forming one of the strongest examples in America of a black middle class. And that happened largely because Mayor Maynard Jackson and other leaders made sure that black workers and business owners had a seat at the table and a chance to participate in the jobs being created there. Today, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to open new doors of prosperity through infrastructure work taking place all over the country, and we're doing just that. For as long as I've been alive, infrastructure investment in America has been held back by the problem of funding. But we're changing that, with historic levels of funding now going out the door. The next question is how we can best muster the talent, the workforce, materials and supplies, and the private sector expertise that will be needed to help deliver all the projects, including all of the great airport projects that are being funded through President Biden's infrastructure package. And the answer in so many ways is in this room. So I want to recognize you for stepping up to help America deliver in this moment. And I want to share some of the ways we're working to help you succeed and leave no talent on the table. Under President Biden's leadership, we have implemented policies that create good union jobs, support hiring from the same communities where projects are happening, and allow more federal funds to be used for things like training or on-site childcare, all of which will help more women and people of color enter these good-paying careers. It's about doing right by workers and supporting businesses, making sure they have a fair shot to win and deliver on federal contracts. In fiscal year 2023, we awarded over $2 billion to small and disadvantaged businesses, almost 50% higher than the contracting rates just 2 years earlier. This is about fairness, but it's also a huge win for the government's goals, for a country as a whole, as we break down barriers that allow great companies to emerge, compete, and deliver great work. And as you may know, we are very close to releasing the improved final rule updating the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program and the Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. But of course, we're not waiting for that. Across the country, right now, we are working with STBs to help them get over many of the most common roadblocks, things like bonding, access to capital, finding partners, and more. Now, I know that right now, there are forces trying to unwind some of the progress that's been made. But I believe that we have the best of America's values on our side and that we have the law on our side. So we are going to continue pressing ahead. I'll end with another real example of why this matters so much. I had an opportunity to sit down with workers at LAX, workers who were brought into construction jobs there through a local hire program, part of a local project labor agreement benefiting people who live in the same zip code as the airport itself. I had a chance to hear about the income that they were making, but also to see for myself the sense of pride and purpose that came with their being able to point to different parts of that airport and tell their kids, I helped build this. It showed me how life-changing and important these opportunities can be. I believe that years from now, people are going to look back at the 2020s as a period when across the country, our transportation infrastructure took an enormous leap forward, and when wealth disparities started to close. And they'll see that those two things were related because of the opportunity that came with that infrastructure work, because of the work we're doing together, because of leaders like you. So thank you again for everything that you do to make this good work possible. And I hope you have a great rest of this event.